You're watching The Edward Fowler Show. Now, here's your host, Edward Fowler.
Welcome live to the show tonight. And if you're watching this on YouTube or if you're joining us on Apple Music, Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, you name it, we're everywhere now. And tonight, wherever you're watching this, we've got a great guest on the show joining us, usually from America, but he's not in America, so I'm hoping he will understand the message today. Hola, amigo, they say in good old Spanish. So please welcome to the show. Sorry it's a bit delayed. I'll explain in a moment why it's delayed. But please welcome to the show right now, broadcaster / journalist Liam Coombs. How are you?
I'm great, my friend. Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. Yeah. You're welcome. And to answer your question, firstly, yes, you look fine as you are from your location in Madrid. Just to let you know that. And reason why this is a bit late is because I was just doing some things in my car. So, yes, who thought I'd get a car in 2024 or 2023?
Congratulations.
So, thank you. And so we got a car now. So I got a car and it's going fantastically well. Not really, but that's the reason why I was a bit late on this tonight. So I do apologize. This is why it's called the Late Late Show nowadays. But we're getting there, slowly but surely. But firstly, how is Madrid?
Oh, I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. The language barrier was definitely something. That was a struggle at first, but I want to learn Spanish coming here. So doing my best. I've realized that listening to Spanish music actually does help a lot. And my Spanish course in the university I'm studying here at just started yesterday. So finally learning my my holas and my buenas noches. So learned a little bit. It took about like four years in high school, but like everyone says, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
And so I definitely lost it. But getting back in the saddle now, and it feels good.
That's good. That's good because, you know, as you say, if you don't use it, then you'll lose it. But like with driving, we take a few months off, you kind of forget everything, and you're like, is it good to do or not? But no, keep at it, man. And, you be an actual Spanish speaker because I know in Arizona, I could be wrong, but I mean, don't they speak a bit of Spanish down there?
Yeah, very much. There's a huge Mexican influence there. In Phoenix, and you got the Phoenix Suns, and then they are all adopting the El Valle, for the Valley, but we're incorporating the Spanish Mexican culture there too. So I've lived and grown up with Mexican culture my whole life. Gotta say, love Mexican food, probably my favorite. Even still here, gotta say Mexican food's the best. I wanted to come here and learn Spanish so that I can come back to the States and, maybe do some coverage of the border crisis going on right now. I feel like if I can, talk to the people that are there, it'd be so much more meaningful. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you have a question from a guest, leave it in the live chat. We'll answer them. We've got a few questions emailed to me, DM, whatever. So one of them I already told Liam. He's quite hilarious about that, and I'll get his proper response in a few minutes. But speaking about about the border in the US between, of course, I'm guessing meaning Mexico to the US. It's quite out of control, isn't it? A bit like it was about 6 years ago, just before Donald Trump came to power under the other Democrat Party. So obviously not much has changed from that Democrat Party to the current Democrat Party.
What do you mean exactly?
Well, because it feels like there's more numbers again. Like over here, there wasn't talk about much about the policy when Donald Trump was in power. Yes, there was a bit of numbers, but there's not seemed to be an uproar as there is again now, just like it was 6 to 7 years ago under Barack Obama leadership.
Sure. Yeah. So what we see happening is, during the Trump administration, you had, pretty much the harshest border policy we've seen in a while. And that had the effect of lower numbers, but also that meant, they took away asylum seeking. And and then the process to get in was so much harder. So then that obviously turned away migrants, and now you have this administration, the Biden administration, is looking at more of a humanitarian. I guess you'd say that a humanitarian approach when it comes to this.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's kind of created this weird dichotomy between let's say like the state of Texas and the federal government. Now you have the state of Texas who's trying to put up all these blockades so that migrants don't come in, and then the federal government, Biden administration, sees that as a humanitarian crisis because now you have razor sharp fences and whatnot that are actually causing casualties. And so yeah, basically when Biden got elected, that the international community saw that as a change in the border policy, which it was. But now we're left with this situation we're in now. And so, yeah, we Congress just voted against a border security package that was a bipartisan deal. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know enough about that to speak on it, but yeah, it's just interesting because we can talk about it and talk about it and talk about it, and then when it comes to voting on it, we don't. And
Yeah.
so it's yeah, I guess that just goes to show more about United States Congress than it does about this issue exactly. But it's very, very divisive, and I think it doesn't have to be divisive. I think if we sat down and talked about it, and I think it could be a lot, a lot of consensus building can be done there.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I agree with you there. But back to you now. We have a side topics is what the show's about. We don't, I listen to my answers, or listen to the guest answers, and we go from there.
All right.
Who inspired you to become a journalist then?
Who inspired me?
Yes,
Wow.
who inspired you? What led you down this road?
Good question. I wouldn't say exactly who. I would say what. So I came into college. I wouldn't say super involved in politics, but I had a knack for it, I guess. In senior year of high school, I did a government course, U.S. government course, and I was a debate facilitator, and I really enjoyed just being able to like field questions and then kind of mediate the situation of the debate so that um, one person can be heard, but also supported, and then they can feel comfortable talking about their opinions, and then the other person can rebut in a way that's also under the same light.
Yeah.
And so I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed being that facilitator, and then um, it was honestly my mom that told me, I didn't know what I wanted to do in college. I didn't know who I wanted to be or what career path I wanted to take. And then my mom told me, hey, look, you're good at this. You like politics and you're a good writer, which I was. And so I just took up this merged major at Northern Arizona University called political science and journalism. And so the shitty thing was I thought my freshman year that, okay, this is a merged major. So that means I'm taking, like if the political science courses were here and journalism was here, I was going to take this much of both. And that makes it, this merged thing.
Yeah.
And that was the case until I got to my senior year this year. And turns out that I had to take two theses. And so I'm doing one abroad right now, and it's on Middle East regional security. And it's very interesting. But yeah, I definitely didn't know I was going to be in for that. But actually, I'm loving it. So it's great. But anyways, so came into college, and I had this background. I just kind of like, threw myself into this major. My mom always has got my back and knows my best interest, so I trusted her. And then the 2020 election happened. And so, you have this complete vitriol from both sides. The Democrats are, well, people my age, Democrats, would be, blocking their friends on social media. And then the Republicans, if you even, talk about any kind of Democratic stuff, then they would be doing the same thing. And it was just this like complete, tribalism and this complete separation of any consensus building, anything that I had experienced in that class I was talking about. That was just not the case. Social media is, the worst place for consensus building, I would say. With your algorithm reinforces, all of the preconceived notions you have about what's going on around you. And so this was, the 2020 election. It was very much based in social media, and I'm sure we can all, speak to that. But it really didn't sit well with me. And so that next semester, I just wanted to do something that could help contribute to consensus building and I guess, yeah, just more consensus across the board. I really didn't like seeing my friends screaming at each other.
Yeah.
And so I took up a reporter role with the school newspaper. And then I loved it, loved talking to people, loved, contributing to the community in a way that mattered. And, even though maybe, it wouldn't have been seen by a lot of people, the people would have reached and the people that are affected by it, it really counts for them. I think that's the important part of journalism. And that's why it's kept me going this whole time. And it hasn't been an easy road. It's, come with a lot of stress and a lot of struggle, but damn it, every time it's been fruitful and been rewarding because of that personal connection you're making with those people you're talking to, and just knowing that you are contributing to telling stories, telling good stories that matter, and can influence decisions that people make in their lives. And that's an important role to have. And I hold that to my heart, to my chest. It's a great feeling.
Well, great response. And I want to go back a little bit. So you mentioned about how you enjoy doing asking people questions. What you really meant, okay, is that you like to cause chaos. You like to see people argue. That's what you like, Liam, isn't it? Down inside your soul, inside your heart, that's really what you love. You love to see people arguing against each other, causing a lot of chaos. So you can just interject and say, "Oh, time out," type thing. That's what you really like to do, isn't it, Liam? But
you know what, Ed? I'll give you that. I think I like that's hey. I was talking to someone else about this the other day. There's sometimes where there's a train crash,
Yes.
or that allegory about a train crash and you can't look away.
Uh-huh.
I like looking at the train crash and then being able to pull people out of the cars.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. See,
I like that role.
I wish I could do it on this show. I wish I could have arguments and all sorts on this show. It'd be great TV, but definitely. But that's something I can do, unfortunately. I try my very best to do so, but it doesn't really work out. But I got to say as well, during your great answer as well, I completely love. I'm been getting loads of emails through to me as well, not of you, but other people wanting to be on the show. But I just want to say something. If you've not had chance, you may have seen a clip of this. But Jessica Lynn interview, fantastic. People love that. People liking that. People referring it to me for future guests to be on my show. Just like I want to know as well, since I'm throwing that out there. When I reached out to you, I think it was about maybe a year ago now, maybe longer than that, maybe I can't remember. But when I reached out to you, what made you to actually respond to me? If you can remember.
You're persistent, and I think that is you're very persistent, and I think that's also the test of journalism, right? Like if you reach out to that big name interview that you've been trying to get forever, and of course they're not going to respond to you because they don't know who you are.
Yes.
And not saying like this is me, but just in my experience,
in general,
just in general, like follow up, and then maybe give their representative a call, and just keep on working it in, and finally get that interview, and then that can lead to new opportunities and new pathways for your career. And so you're a good journalist.
Oh, I appreciate it, Liam, and I do apologize if I have been if I have bugged you at times. I'm very eager to speak to certain people. People I love to.
I respect
to communicate with you, and But what a great story. Now, if we can mention this, now feel free to interrupt me because I don't know if this is public information. I don't know. I don't want to get you in trouble. But I know you mentioned you work at a local Arizona newspaper called, I think it's called Naz Today. Apologies if I mispronounced that. But that's on YouTube, by the way, and that's where I first came across your work. Who'd have thought a British person coming across a random student news broadcast all the way from Arizona? Who would have thought that? So
I'm curious, what did you see exactly?
Wait, what do you mean? From Naz today when I first booked?
Yeah. Just
Well, I saw you, obviously. That's how I got in contact with you, because I saw
you
your
remember?
work, and I thought that
Do
you
you
stood
remember?
out from the rest of the pack, as I would say. So I thought I wanted to get in to communicate with you. So that's what I did. I reached out and never thought you would respond to me, because again, you've got like 2,000 followers. I've only got like 300 summits, so I'm nowhere near as in your level. So I thought, wow, yes, he did respond to me. A little known person out of UK of all places, getting a response from a more of a legit person than I am.
Get out of here. You're doing a hell of a lot more work than I am right now. I'll tell you that.
Don't know. But I do got some people lined up now though after today.
Yeah.
So
Great.
my schedule went from being very quiet to now being very busy, which I do love, by the way, being busy on this channel. But I mean, it's a wonderful cast of potential new stars being created at NAS today, and I
Yes.
felt that you stood out from the other people in that newsroom. But can I say this though, that you and somebody else from that studio, I'm hoping you know what I'm leading to here. How did that connection begin? Was that because you guys were working together on camera during some broadcasts, and
We're
that
talking about my girlfriend now?
chemistry then spread off camera as well? How did that connection come to be? Yes, indeed. You are
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, let's put this in the most PG way possible.
Well, you've already swore in the last within 6 minutes of this interview. You already swore, so now I got to put this in the exhibits episode on
hey,
my podcast.
you're a good journalist. Wow. I didn't know I was getting this question. No, yeah. So, Ava, my girlfriend, works in sports, and so
Yes.
she was actually, shout out to her, was just at the Super Bowl the week
Super Bowl.
ago. Yeah, doing all that coverage, and is at the Fiesta Bowl down in the Valley.
Oh, nice.
So she's been just doing great work. But yeah, we obviously started working together a couple years ago, and she was doing her sports thing, I was doing my news thing. Weren't really connected, work wise. But I always told myself I wouldn't get involved with anyone I worked with. But
They all
yeah,
say that. They all say that,
yeah,
and then it happens.
and then yeah, exactly. Here we are.
Yeah.
But no, she has just proven to me time and time again to be the most true and caring and loving and supportive person besides my family, in my life that I have right now. And yeah, it was a connection that I didn't see, because I had this whole thing about workplace relationships, but it has been so pure, and I'm very, very grateful for her. So
How
that's all.
how is the long-term distance going, by the way? Because the different time zones and all sorts. How's that going for you both, by the way?
For anyone out there that is worried about long distance or anything like that, I think it is more about how strong your relationship is rather than if you can do long distance. It's not about long distance itself, it's about the connection you have with the person.
Got you.
If you enjoy talking to them and you enjoy conversing with them, then it's no problem. If all your relationship is physical stuff and a lot of this toxic stuff we're seeing nowadays too, then it's not going to work.
Yeah.
But again, she is wonderful, and she's coming out soon, and a couple weeks, so that's looking forward to that. But yeah, again, it's a test of your relationship and the connection you have, and not about the mode of communication, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I do get what you mean. And, Sparks has flew there, and I'm sure the Sparks will fly again when she comes over to Madrid.
Indeed.
And I'm guessing as well, the weather is hot at the moment over there. Is it quite warm, or is it quite cold at the moment?
Here in Madrid or
Yeah,
in
Madrid,
Phoenix?
yeah.
Oh yes. Let me check the weather. It's been just beautiful actually. Let's see, 54 degrees. Yeah, I don't know what it is for Celsius, you guys.
Yes, to me that's like boiling hot. 54 Celsius.
Yeah.
So that's like boiling hot.
Yeah, that'd be a little bad.
When I first saw Fahrenheit, and I was thinking, my God, that's 89 degrees. How do they cope in that heat? I'd be where there's nothing on, walking
Well, I'll
down the
tell you.
street, wouldn't I? But then I realised, actually, it's not as hot as you think it is when it's in Celsius, because I had to
Well,
Google what is 89 in Celsius. I thought, oh, that's not that warm. That's not
I
that
mean,
bad.
in Phoenix, you can, if you've heard this, viral thing, you can actually cook eggs on the pavement in Phoenix. I'm not even kidding you. It's that,
That's
and
hilarious.
yeah, it gets upwards of like 180 on the on the pavement itself, but like above you, it's 110, 120 is the worst.
Wow.
But it's a dry heat too, so you're not like,
Yeah,
really getting the muggy sweat, but
yeah, like you do over
it's
here.
hell. It's hell
Yeah.
for sure.
Um, but I mean, at least you're enjoying it. This weather's fine, and I'm sure you'll be making more memories with your girlfriend when she comes over to you in a few weeks.
Indeed.
So let's talk about then. You mentioned about the dry heat, so let's talk about a place where it's always sweaty and miserable. The UK. You came over here a few years ago, and
Yes.
you did a bit of a tour. Now, back then, I was reached out to you back then because you were actually in my town, in my city of Manchester.
Yes, I was. So, yeah, I did a study abroad program in Canterbury, actually, if you know where that is, a little southeast of you.
Oh yeah,
Um,
is that in? Did you say? Do you mean Canterbury? Did you mean?
yes,
Yes.
yes.
I think that I've never heard that name before, but then I thought, oh, maybe it's in Canterbury.
Yeah, that's just my American accent.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you're fine.
Yeah, so I was there at the University of Kent
Yep.
for 3 weeks doing this intensive journalism program. Um, and yeah, so then after that, during that time, we did a bunch of trips to London. I actually got to cover the Platinum Jubilee right before the Queen's death. So
Yes.
that was, yeah, it was just very, very timely. I was so blessed to be able to do that. And it was honestly a very beautiful moment because, um, in the United States, we don't really have a figure like that you can rally behind. We have our sports, we have our individual, political parties, but to have a figure that is the, I don't know, the culmination of what it means to be, uh, a part of this nation. It was beautiful to see all these people from all these different nationalities rallying around this figurehead. And at first, I was a little bit like, they have a queen. That's a little weird. It's 2021, but 2022 rather. And then seeing all those people just in pure celebration it was a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
And
Well,
yeah,
the thing is as well, every 10 years or so, we used to have a celebration. In 22, 2012, 2002, goes way
hmm
back, and now we don't really have one because there's something to celebrate now. Because of course we have a new monarch, and I think they got to wait for so many years before like a celebration happens. But who knows? He might even get to that celebration at the moment because of course he's got cancer, hasn't he, at the moment.
yeah,
So
heard about that.
we will have to see what happens there. But then you went down to Manchester. So you left.
Yes.
You left the good old Cockneys and all the other posh accents down in the south of the country. And you came up north to Manchester, or if we say Manchester.
And just
Yeah, Manchester, and that's the Mancunian accent that is. And you were here for about a day or so, and then you left.
I was actually there for about 4 or 5.
Okay.
But yeah, to be honest with you, so we were working so hard in London and Canterbury, working on all of our journalism projects. And during the day, we were so booked up with just travel stuff.
Yeah.
Our advisor, he took us, and I don't think he really calculated how much time it would actually take to do this work and also travel around. So that just meant we were staying up till about 3 a.m. every night
Wow.
working on our work, and then waking up the next morning at 8, getting ready to go. So by the time I got to Manchester, my sleep schedule was just screwed. So I was waking up at like, I don't know, way afternoon, and yeah, didn't get to experience all the things I wanted to. I think I was just so ragged out by that trip. This time studying abroad, I'm definitely taking it a little bit more easy and
Yeah. But
parsing out my travels.
so is there any plans for you then to come back over to England? Because at the moment you're a lot closer to England than you are if you're in Arizona. So the question is are you planning to come back over before you head back to the States or not? Or was Manchester too much for you to handle? So you thought, I'll stay in Madrid this time around.
So one thing I did want to go to in Manchester, I didn't get to go to, was the Media City.
Oh, yes. I know where that is. This picture behind me is from the Media City, by the way.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Tell me about that. What's that all about?
Well, Media City UK is, of course, the home of the great studios of BBC and ITV. Been open since 2011, late 2011 opened, and it's home to, for instance, the longest-running soap in the world, Coronation Street, which has been going on since 1960. You got a lot of bars and restaurants in Media City UK. Apparently, it is the future city centre, by the way. So, it's a place to be at the moment.
Interesting. Okay.
And it's a show on Netflix as well. I don't know if it's available over where you are or in America or whatever, but it's called. I might get this wrong now. I'm going to be put on the spot. But it's like Want to Kill or something like that. It's called. It's got a great actress in it called Michelle Keegan, along with Joanna Lumley. People shouting at the TV and online now thinking, oh, you got this wrong. But it stars those two great people. It's an 8-part series, and it was shot and filmed around Manchester. It's on Netflix, 8-part series.
Wonderful. I'll check it out.
Yeah, I'll have to actually send you the correct the correct one, because I can't remember the name of it now. But yeah, it's like, something like that. Something ridiculous. But apparently it's got good reviews, so... I've not watched it, but people have been talking about it, though. But
I'll check it out.
Something, and that production company is based here in Media City as well. So
gotcha. Yeah, that sounds great. I did want to tour that, and I was, selfishly trying to, squeeze in a little internship or something when I visited there at BBC.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I didn't get the chance to. I was just so ragged out. I did get a tour around the city though, and that was a great time. I loved all of the street art, if you know what I'm talking about. All of the there's graffiti and then there's street art, and the street art I saw was just phenomenal. Just beautiful pieces, and so I just toured around and went down all these alleys and started photographing all these cool art that I found, and that was a great time.
Well, I'll tell you another fact as well. Media City UK is not far from the best football club in the world, Manchester United, by the way. But still number one. Doesn't care.
I feel like the fans out here would have some disagreements with you there.
Yeah, I'm sure they would. But it's the best club in the world. Come and see why. Come to Old Trafford.
Okay.
Come to the best club in the world. We won 20 major trophies. We won the Champions League twice in 2 different teams completely under the best manager, Sir Alex Ferguson, and of course back in the day in the late 60s as well with Sir Matt Busby. But let's talk about then, because you gave a good answer there, but you didn't really give a definite answer.
I didn't answer your question. 2 things.
You're becoming a politician now, aren't you?
No, hey, maybe one day. No. So no plans yet. Me and my buddy Connor are traveling around Europe because I did the UK track, and I just kind of want to pool my resources into Europe, the rest of Europe right now. But I got some time in April, got some time in May, so might make a trip out. No plans yet. I did want to see Edinburgh, Scotland, very bad, so might make it up there. And then to the other point, I think when I was in Manchester, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe either Manchester United or Liverpool had just lost a really big match. It was around that summer. You know what I'm talking about. And I think it was like one of the play-ins for the World Cup, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And and then so when I got there, it seemed like the whole energy was just so down.
I can't remember what happened because what year was that? Was that in 21 when you came over?
20? I want to say 22. 22.
Okay. Let's see. I'm in 22. It could have been because I know we lost 7-0 to Liverpool, but I can't remember if that was this season or last season.
Okay, it might have been Liverpool. I might be getting this wrong.
No, you might be right. 'Cause we did lose 7-0, but I think it was
Okay.
last season. I think that was.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you for bringing that back up.
Yeah. Anyways.
So when you were in Manchester, then were you a red or were you a blue?
A red or a blue?
Yeah, were you a red or a blue
What
when you came
is
to
this
Manchester?
the trick question? What does this mean exactly?
Well, because we have two football teams. One's red and one's blue.
Oh shoot.
And
Ed,
when where you were in Manchester City Centre, you were nearer to the blue side of the city.
okay, then I'm a blue.
Right, that's a shame.
Die hard.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
I haven't been in football, as you guys call it here.
Yes,
Too big
the
in my life.
real deal. By the way, many people say that
of
football
course.
is a football, not the NFL, as you guys say.
Yeah, I don't know why they call it that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Don't quote me on that one. But I've been a big basketball fan my whole life, so that's where my passion lies. But I do want to get out and see a Real Madrid game here. So
Right.
looking forward to doing that.
Right. Well, I hope you can, and maybe
Yeah.
because all the best players at the moment are in Saudi Arabia or in Major League Soccer.
Right, and I think Madrid just got Mbappe.
Right.
Yep. So he's pretty good, right?
When he wants to show up and play, I guess so. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he has some issues,
You know more than me on that.
well, people who's watching this might also have similar views as well, Liam. So, or
Okay.
as with you, or maybe not agree with me. I don't know. I could be tucking out of my bum, and nobody would know. But, but let's talk about. You had a great year in 2023.
Thank you.
So what can we expect from you in 2024, the year of the US election, and
Yes.
UK as well, the UK election?
Yeah, it's actually I just saw an NBC article. It is one of don't quote me on this, but I believe this election year there are tons of elections going on around the world, and so they're calling this the year for democracy. And so we're gonna see how this plays out. But yeah, so for me, this was my big senior send off, and so I'm basically graduating out here. They're gonna send me my diploma in the mail. I'm not gonna
Interesting.
talk on stage. I figured I didn't get the high school graduation ceremony, so this one doesn't matter to me all that much, and I'd rather just get in the workforce. The connections I made at my university are those will last, and I don't really need my name to be said on stage for 2 seconds and then the next person walks by.
I know, but it's still a part of the tradition, though, Liam.
It is.
But can I ask, why is that happening? Why have they sent you over to Spain? Is that because they were too scared because you're taller than them, maybe, or something? Is that what's happened over here?
I have seen a lot of people taller than me here, but I've always wanted to travel. I got into journalism because I thought it could
travel,
allow me to travel. So I couldn't do it until now because I was so locked in with all the work I was doing at NAZ today, and now it's being taken over by my predecessor, Michaela Richardson. Shout out to her. She's in great hands now. And so I did an internship with one of the local news stations in Phoenix last summer, Arizona's Family. And so that went great. And now they are continuing the partnership with the university. And so they're going to have internships every semester. So that's a great thing. So I'm leaving it in a good spot, and I can walk away happily. Did a lot of great work there, and the team is made me who I am today. So all thanks to them. But as far as the future, so I got a few things lined up. Don't want to speak on them until they are locked in, but I want to be in the workforce before the election gets rolling around. So I'm thinking by August I'll be in the corporate world.
Right. Well, I guess it'll be the once and only time we get to see you on my show then. Before you join a a big company. So I guess early congratulations. Great teaser. We
Thanks.
love teasers. And speaking of teasers, you're on Instagram, obviously. And tell everybody where they can find you on Instagram.
Yeah, so just liam.combs, Liam .combs, and all my personal stuff is on my feed. But if you need news information, I post 24-hour updates every day. So stay tuned. And yeah, a lot of people have told me recently that I'm their only source of news. So that's it's a good feeling knowing that people are watching and that I can contribute to that. So even just on that scale, it's yeah, it feels great to be a journalist these days.
Yes, and you also on your Instagram have not posted since. Let me just find it. Since okay, you have been posting recently, but there was a bit of a time where you didn't post for like a few months, and then I think you have posted again. I was going to say you have posted since like 2022, but then you posted it in February the 3rd, so you have been posting. So
Yeah,
I was going to pull you up on that, but then I think I've just been on your
no,
channel.
I don't remember exactly, but I
Yeah.
can tell you there's some times where I've taken a complete break from social media. Right now, there's just so much stuff going on in the world. I kind of want to stay involved and want to stay updating the people that watch or listen. So yeah, I it's kind of hard, because sometimes, and I'm sure if anyone's watching can you know they can relate to this. You kind of just want to put the blinders on. There's like so much going on, and so much constant news to your to your brain. It's the easy choice would be just to put the blinders on and to turn it all off. Um, I try to do that. I try to disseminate it and digest it for people so that they don't have to put the blinders on, and they can still stay involved by just watching a clicking through an Instagram story.
Yeah.
And I think that's where news needs to go, unfortunately, because I don't know, we just have a TikTok culture now. We have I can speak for myself, shortened attention spans, and so people aren't willing to even read an article online anymore. And so it's the future of news looks daunting, but I think with innovations and with AI and new technologies, there's so many opportunities, and I want to be on the forefront of that. So yeah.
Interesting. So in years to come, we might see you in the as a CEO or as a billionaire now, maybe.
Oh gosh, I don't think people get into this industry to be billionaires. But
well, I mean, you're talking great aspirations. So the sky's the limit, I say.
I do, and that's all thanks to my mom and dad. Yeah, they really instilled in me that if you're gonna go for it, shoot for it,
Yeah,
and go high.
yeah, no,
Um,
absolutely, yeah,
yeah, and just to have an open mind. I think that to my parents as well. I feel like I am a good journalist because of my parents. Teaching me that you know love your neighbor, but also love your enemy, and at least show them empathy.
yeah,
And I think that's an important key nowadays because we want to be so. It's easy, especially like I was talking about earlier with our social media algorithms. So easy to just fall into our echo chambers, fall into what is what our friends are saying. But the hard thing, but the necessary thing is to look at the other news source that maybe on the other side of the aisle politically. Look at what people with alternate opinions other than you are saying about this certain issue that you are so passionate about. And not that you don't need to go and change your mind, but at least be open to the possibility that there is more nuance to these very nuanced issues. And so we don't, there's so much to be said about one thing that it's easy to just bandwagon yourself to what the narrative is at the moment. And so, as a journalist, I try to cut through to that. And for anyone watching, I would suggest at least just take a little bit of time out of your day to try to broaden your scope of what of your worldview, I guess. And that oftentimes doesn't get done on social media. Unless you follow me, I'll do that for you.
Well, you do have over 2,000 followers on Instagram. You do have Twitter as well, but I don't think you've posted on it for a few years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I haven't really broken into that space. I like just being able to just repost on Instagram, write a
Yeah,
little comment, and
yeah,
then
yeah. Well,
I'm already on.
well, I do follow you on X. I think you
Oh,
got
thank you.
like 12 followers or something like that on
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So
I haven't posted since like
I just thought
2020 or
follow
something.
on you on there in case you come back to that
Thank you.
platform in years to come.
I probably will, when I start getting, real with my job.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, especially with all the, controversy going around X, it just turned me away. And yeah, again, Instagram's easy. People are already on it all the time. So
Yeah, yeah, indeed. So are people on Threads as well. You know, the rival to X is also on there. So if you ever join that platform as well, then I'm sure you will love that.
yeah,
Whatever
Threads. Yeah, wow.
whatever that is. I'm on Threads, but I don't have a clue how it meant to work.
Well, yeah, it had like the biggest, first week jump in content users or whatever, and then it just crashed.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
one, I don't know what happened there. They had a good marketing push, and then
Well,
just
I think it's because it was something new, and I think people didn't know what it was, and or maybe how
yeah,
to use it as well. And but I think a lot of people that have probably only stored it because it's probably not getting the traction it was
right.
supposed to be. I don't know, but I mean, it's a bit different to how X operates, but I guess it's a niche. So Meta's got its own niche now.
Yeah. I think I think that's the key though, because I just did a presentation in this media management class I'm taking about the press industry, and so obviously, when the internet hit, um, viewership in newspapers declined. Like, subscriber bases just dropped. But then you have all these new opportunities for advancing into the online space, and then it starts to rise again.
Yeah,
Um, in this point, with threads just popping off like that, that just shows that there's so much of a market and a need for um, new innovative technology and new innovative ways that people can get access to information and share with people. And so that's, I think, is the key to expanding into this new, 2020s space and beyond. It's going to look a lot different with AI and metaverse technology. I don't know. Did you see the Chat GPT video generating software that just came out recently?
yes, yes, I have.
Yeah,
Yes,
so,
yes.
it's it's mind blowing. If anyone hasn't seen that already, go look that up right now. So yeah, what that's going to look like for content creation, for um, yeah, I mean, fake images and defamation and all this kind of, it's just going to be crazy what we're going to look at in the future. So strap on your seatbelts and yeah, for I think again for the business minded, huge opportunities, but also can be pretty scary too. So
Well, yeah, because you and me might have to start suing people
yeah,
for defamation. I can't wait for that. I get to sue somebody. I mean, that'd be quite fun to
right.
do.
Well, I mean, like,
Yes.
and then that again, yeah, exactly. Good point. The
Yeah.
legal system.
Yeah.
How do we differentiate?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
That'd be quite a good story, wouldn't it? Imagine you going to court because someone's used your image in an AI video. Same for me, because we're in the public eye, I guess. So
yeah, or
wow.
get fired because an AI video of me says something that I didn't say.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't think we'll get fired because they have to prove it's us, won't they? And
Yeah, it's just yeah, yeah, probably there's probable cause there, but again, it just opens up the door to all these new questions, and so what that means for the future is gonna I don't know. We either are going down a good road or a bad road with this technology, and so again, I think getting the word out, being aware of it, is at least the first step.
the funny thing is as well, I only learned about Chat GPT probably about maybe a month or two ago. Never even heard of
Okay.
it before. Just that somebody mentioned it to somebody, and I overheard the conversation. I was just intrigued to know what on earth Chat GPT was. So, and then I found out what it was. So there you go. See, I'm
Yeah,
not very up to date with this technology. Basically, I think there's too much out there. Like it's like this Facebook, X, Instagram, Threads, Snapchat, WhatsApp. All these different social media. It's hard to keep up with them all. So
yeah,
I probably say I'm the most active on X and Instagram. I do have a Facebook page, but I post on there when I have something to announce. Like, for instance, you last night, which has got over, I think, 8 likes now. So, I think who has liked the photo on Facebook. You should start a Facebook page, Liam, as well.
I do have one again. That again, I just haven't.
Well, you do have one, but I don't think it's a public page. So, I mean, you should have a public page to showcase your talents.
I will say, for any aspiring journalists out there, Facebook is huge for news gathering. When I was working that summer internship job, that would be my morning routine. I'd wake up early, I would, make my food, get a coffee, and then I would just scour Facebook, and then boom, I have 8 story ideas for the day. And, local people are just posting on there all the time, and the business owners and city government, it's a huge place for news gathering. So recommend that to all my people out there.
Yes, well, good advice, and that was one of the other questions I was going to ask you. So you've answered that one already, so that's good. We can take that one off the list. This is great because and I say this show is unscripted. There is no scripts on this channel, so
love it.
Even though you've told me in the past that you do a lot of great homework and all this business, and I appreciate the kind words, but I don't really put anything into it. It's a natural conversation.
You're like a Nardwar in that way.
Oh, wow. Well, I never heard that saying before, so I would take that on board as a compliment.
No, the one, you know what I'm talking about? The interviewer goes around and talks to all these celebrities, and he will surprise them with a gift, and it's this something from their past that how the hell would they have known about it?
I've probably seen a clip of it, but I didn't know that was his name. So Alan's something new today.
There's one of those golf hats with the fluffy thing right here, and he's got black hair.
Yeah. I have seen the clip, but I never knew what his name was. So so now I do. Yeah. There we go. But I mean, I did surprise you earlier on in this episode about your love of your life and all that great stuff as well. Talk to us about then some of the great people you've gotten to work with, and hopefully to maybe even to collab with in the future.
Yeah, totally. So you mean work with, or talk to in journalism?
Yeah, all that in both of those answers work fine.
Yeah, totally. So again, I just want to bring this back around the barrel. My parents gave me an open mind that allowed me to jump into this career in a way that I'm constantly questioning things, and I think that's of the utmost importance. So all thanks to them. And then my mentors at the university absolutely molded my path to where I am now. Shout out to Brian Rackham at NAU. He was, basically my boss at the NAZ Today, the outlet that I, student ran. And yeah, I mean, just working with him was, it was like one of those things where I knew that he, respected me and respected the work I've done, but it was always like he always took the hard ass, line with me, and I needed that in my life because, I think it's good to have that, loving support from the family, and then you also need that, hard ass on your other side, the devil and the angel, keeping you right in line, right down where you need to be from both two camps, and so just an absolute mentor, and really made me work hard because I was constantly trying to be better every time. And he made me better every time. And then, so I got to work on a documentary film.
Yes.
It will be coming out soon. I'm finishing the color editing and a few more little things, but that'll be coming out soon on political polarization in the United States. So why we are so divided, everything we're talking about right now. And then consensus building. How we can, at least sit down at the table and have, at least the common decency to have a conversation with someone of the other side. And that was a great experience. And so I was working underneath Professor Rachel Cox, who again was just a wonderful, wonderful mentor. She, really opened up so much about her life to me, and I think that's really important too. Um, Being, like real and honest with the people you're working with, um, it creates a bond and it creates this, willingness to work that's kind of like inspired out of you
Yeah.
instead of, like I don't know how to describe it. Inspired out of you instead of like hampered down on you. You get what I mean?
Hmm.
Uh, and that's, so I had, the hard ass, and then I had, the love and care with my mentors as well. So that was just a, beautiful mix, and all thanks to those two people. But yeah, so in that documentary film, I got to work with, interview a bunch of amazing, talented people from the field of journalism, a political analyst, people who work in mental health. Just talking about what it means to have empathy, stuff like that.
Oh, that's quite good.
Yeah, and then people in communication studies. So why it is the way that we dive into our echo chambers. We are more tribal. Why we're so predisposed to these things, and how to break away from um, those tropes. And so down in Phoenix, if anyone's American or I guess lives in Arizona, I got to work with the original anchor man. His name is Mark Curtis, and he dons the mustache till this day. Um, Absolute phenomenal journalist, and he's an anchor on Channel 12's show. And then I got to work with Joe Dana, also at Channel 12. He is an investigative reporter. He actually came up to Flagstaff and asked me to help him just with some camera work. And then it turned into this, relationship where, I'd send him, the stuff I was working on. He'd send me, advice. And then down the road, I got to work with him on this documentary. And that was another great conversation I had with him. And then, I got to interview Kirsten Sinema, the senator. So that was fantastic. It was only 10 minutes and it was on Zoom, but now I can say I've interviewed a sitting U.S. senator. So
Yes.
that was awesome.
And at least you got the video footage of that. You can
Yes.
use that for any examples, and people, in case people don't believe you, you can say, "Well, here it is. Here's the footage."
Yeah.
But I know it's getting late over there for you, so I'm just going to say one more thing, and then I'll wrap this up for everybody here. So, the thumbnail of this video is of you standing at a podium. Now, I enjoyed the clip of that when you posted on Instagram. It was like you were hyping up the crowd. So
Yeah.
is that something you may want to do down the road? Is become a hype man maybe for people as well, or
Well,
are you
let me
taking
story.
bookings for that?
Well, so that was actually my first hype man gig, I guess.
Yeah.
So here's what happened. It was a normal Monday. I was going through my routine. I was at the office. I was working on some story for the week, and I get a call from Washington D.C. And so I pick it up, and I'm thinking that it was Kirsten Sinema's PR team, because I was expecting, or I was basically courting them for about a month for this interview. So I was expecting that call, and I pick it up. Hey, this is Liam. Basically, I was thinking it was them, and then it was this guy Darren from the White House, and he's like, "No, you're going to be our MC for tomorrow's event." And Kamala Harris, the vice president, in the university during that time, and so I was like, "No, like we're gonna, gonna cover it for the news, but I'm not the MC. I've never done that before." And then he sounded like really confused, and then we just kind of abruptly hung up.
You can't do that to her, just away from the White House, Liam.
I know. It was crazy. And so I was just completely out of the loop. And then later on in the day, I get a call from the university, and they're telling me that, yeah, we kind of screwed the pooch. You're going to be the MC for tomorrow's event. And then I was like, well, shit, I already told the guy that I'm not doing it. So I need to make a couple more calls. And then so I was like, I'm doing it. And so
well,
reconnect with the guy.
Yeah.
And I was asking, can I get a program of the event so I can prepare? And he told me to send it over that night, and it's 10 p.m.
Yeah.
no email. And so I wake up the next morning, I get to the location he sent me to. It's 10 a.m. Um, I get through Secret Service,
Yeah.
and then by the time I get through, it's about, let's say 10:15, 10:20. He gives me the program finally, and he says, "Okay, you're on at 10:45. Write up a script for yourself, and get out there and just hype up the crowd."
Wow.
Yeah, and I've never done anything like this before in my life.
Well, you're
And so,
natural. You're natural, Liam, because it was
thank you.
so great.
Thank you.
And I know that people who go in contact want you to do MC for other people and other events. So even I do as well. So
Well, hell yeah, let's talk about that. Yeah, it was, I going there, I was like very nervous because obviously I wasn't prepared. Um, but then I walk out onto the podium,
yeah,
and I look out, and it's all these people looking right at me.
yeah. The
For whatever
nerves.
reason, I wasn't scared. Like I just started talking like I would be talking to you right now.
Yeah.
And I think it's this weird thing. It's like the fear is not public speaking. The fear is the embarrassment of messing up. And so if you just kind of tell yourself that if I mess up, I'm okay because I'm Liam Combs and I'm confident in myself and I can laugh about it,
Yeah.
then you have no problem public speaking.
Yeah.
That's the key. And that's what I told myself. Like, okay, I'm gonna get out here, and if I mess up, make a joke about it, and then I'll be okay. And I did, and it turned out to be great. And then so I only got the time to write an intro for myself in that 20 minutes I had.
Short notice, isn't it? Yeah, a little bit. But
Yeah, so I only got to write the intro, and then each time I would introduce a guest,
Yeah.
I'd go back in the back room and just start scribbling out another. It was crazy.
Oh, classic.
it worked.
But I mean, it went out so well because people want to hire you now. So are you open for bookings, I guess?
Well, yeah, shoot, send me an email.
There we go then. So he is open for business in that
Yeah.
in that front. Well, great stories, Liam. We love that. And by the
you.
way, I do hope at some point, either through your, as you said, in the corporate world, we get to have you back on the show again
It'd be an honor.
in the future at some point, hopefully. And I should say as well, before I get any hate emails or messages, that the tour thing was only was an inside joke, by the way, between myself and Liam, in case anybody thought differently. Yes, I wasn't being serious, we have a bit of a joke here on this show because I put the E in entertainment.
Hell yeah.
I want to know, by the way, because you've seen
That's
many
what-
clips of different episodes from this channel. What do you what have you made of the content then on this channel?
Fantastic, Ed. Like I was saying, I think you have a real knack for just being natural with people. And just like right now, I don't feel like, I'm on a podcast. I just feel like we're, two friends talking. And I think that's your niche that
Yes.
you need to hone in on. And that will take you leaps and bounds. I think too many people go into this business and they look at it like a means to an end. I'm going to go do this interview because I need to complete this story for the day. I'm going to go do this interview because it's going to help me in my career. No, like the way you go into it and you ask questions, you sit back, you let them respond, and then you throw in some insightful joke or, whatever it may be. That's a superpower and needed nowadays. And so just overall, I think that is key to journalism. And yeah, you definitely got it, my friend.
Well, I appreciate that. I do thank you for the kind words, and I hope you'll still keep watching and seeing what comes out. But you know what comes next, won't you? Because there'll be a clip coming out of this episode on
All right.
Instagram, your favorite platform.
Yes.
But I will be tagging you in, and then you can spread it to all your followers. Because the reason
You
why I
got it.
brought up your girlfriend earlier, because I woke up this morning and I think she liked the photo. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the only reason I thought, oh, okay, I see that. I saw that, so I thought, I'm going to play it to my liking here this evening. See, Yeah.
The plot continues.
That's it. That's the plot. Hoping that she might see this, so that to see what your reaction will be. A good response.
Oh yeah.
And you know, I can't wait to see what happens with yourself, and look forward to seeing you back in the US soon. And I can't wait to see you doing some more hyping up, because we need that from you, Liam. And I know a lot of people want to use you in hyping things up, and get thrown around a bit as well. I guess in a way, I guess with strong men or something as well.
Yeah, so please, I don't know if you want to talk about this on the live podcast, but yeah, what do you got going? What's in the works with all that?
Well, and I know when I show some people that they seemed interested, so if you're interested, then I'm sure we can work something out, I guess.
Great, and we're talking about the wrestling thing.
Yes.
Yeah. It sounds like a great opportunity. We'll talk off air, but
yes, we're talking in a moment. Yeah, I'll talk in a moment. But if anybody else wants to use Liam as an MC, then reach out to him, and I'm sure if he's interested in working with you, I'm sure you guys will come up with a solution, I guess, as well. So Freeze, because he's a great hype man. He's more than just a journalist. He's a broadcaster as well. That's why I call you a broadcaster, Liam, not just a journalist. You're just not a journalist. So there you go. You're a broadcaster and an MC. There you go. That's the word I was looking for earlier.
I like to think journalist encapsulates all of that.
Yes, in your dreams, Liam. But on that note, if you enjoyed today's episode, please do like the video, share the video around, tell more about Liam Coombs, tell more about him, and all about his great stories and insight and his experience so far. As well, leave a comment in the comments below. Let me know any future questions, any questions you want me to ask him for any future opportunities, which I hopefully will get with Liam as well in the coming months or years to come. And if you're new around here, make sure to smash that subscribe button. It takes 10 seconds or less, and we've already got, as I've been on air tonight, 230 subscribers. I'm almost at my target of 200, and I think it was 34 subscribers on my old channel. So I'm nearly there now. So I'm almost at that same level to actually oversee that, because anything over 234 subscribers I've never seen before. So it'd be mind-blowing to me. You can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Samsung, Dazan, I believe, as well, and wherever else you listen to your podcasts on. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find this one on there. And this episode of me and Liam in the audio format will launch tomorrow. So check them out on your platform sometime tomorrow, because it will drop. I don't know what time, because I don't know what time is best for business at. So find out sometime tomorrow when it drops, and follow us and subscribe on those platforms as well. But until the next episode drops, which I don't know when, because I got one for next Tuesday, but I might have one on Thursday, or I might have one even sooner than that. Stay tuned to my social media so you can see when those episodes come out. My social media right on your screen: Facebook, X, and Instagram. For more of us here, good night.